players, that 96 team had the opportunity to go for it. They were really ready and prepared to do it.
I really didn't realize what we had done until just a few minutes after it was all over, and everybody was whooping and hollering and carrying on and hugging each other and all that sort of stuff. And then it dawned on me and said, well, by hang, we're national champions.
For you to win your first national championship and to beat the most hated rivalry of all, Florida State, to win that championship, I thought that was perfect.
I couldn't hardly sleep when I went to bed that night because of it. For two reasons. One is they beat FSU. And second is they did it in such a commanding fashion.
It stopped me from saying, wait till next year. And I've been saying that for 50 years before that. So they did stop me from saying that, and of course I didn't come off the ground the whole year.
I'll never forget walking back from the Superdome that night. It was like being in a carnival festival. I've never seen so many excited fans, so many excited people. It was a memory of a lifetime.
Sometimes I pinch myself and wonder, did that year really happen? I mean, it was just a magical season. We had some incredible leaders on the team, the coaching staff. We had some adversity, losing to Florida State, but bounced back, had some fortunes with the other teams that won, and you couldn't cap off a better dream year than beating your biggest rival 52-20 for the national title.
You know, I'll take my kids into the swamp and show them they'll see when they're old enough to know what the 1996 national champs, what that means to these people around here, and it's that I was a part of those guys.
That's one of the highlights in those guys' lives that can't be changed, and they can always say that, for that year they were the best in the business.
I think when we won the national championship, I know I felt this way, and I think all the other players felt that way, is that we won the national championship. We were all up there with Steve and all the players, Danny Warple and everybody else, on that stage winning that national championship. I respect those guys every bit as much as the guys that I played next to, and feel just as close to those guys, and like we were doing something for them and anybody that's ever worn that orange and blue uniform.
And so when we won the national title, every Gator won the national title.
The winning of a national title solidified Florida's place in history as one of a select few to be named by the NCAA as a college football dynasty. Since 1990 to present day, the Gators have compiled an impressive 154 victories. Urban Meyer had a dramatic debut in 2005, pulling off a rare trifecta with wins against arch rivals Tennessee, Georgia, and FSU, carrying on the Gator tradition.
Standard was set many years ago, and we certainly didn't set that standard. We have to live up to it, and so there's a major obligation to make sure these players and coaches perform at the highest level.
No matter what decade you come from or what level you go into in life, when you come back to Florida Field, you're coming back to that tradition and that history, and you have embraced it. And I think that in itself is one thing that every athlete share with one another.
It's difficult to believe that all this started as little more than a swamp, and 15 players with a dream. But over these 100 years, brick by brick, season by season, a unique bond has been formed with all those who wear the orange and blue.
All old players like to believe that we've left something. We've left a piece of us, either on that field, in that locker room, in that presence, that other people, that other players that come after us can grab a hold of.
We feel a special bond with those people down on the field. You know, they're dying and they're sweating and they're bleeding and they're sucking it up in the fourth quarter, and you know, they're part of us. We're part of them.
If I talk to a younger guy, I'm like, look, these are the times. You know, you go to the NFL, bonds you create there are, you know, more superficial. These are the ones that, you know, last a lifetime.
It was fun, and you're playing for each other, and that was the best part of it.
You know, guys can come from different eras, and you just pick up like you were best friends, and you know, because you just shared such common experiences.
I spoke to the team last year. I had the opportunity to do that, and what I told them was, you know, we all put one brick at a time on this wonderful stadium. You know, it's your turn to put that brick. But I feel that at least there's a little bit of part of me in that stadium anytime I walk into it.
It meant something to me beyond going to college, beyond playing football. It was sort of a tradition that I had grown up with, and from the time I was a little boy, I wanted to go there.
When I was in high school, I thought I was picking a place to go to school and play football, and I realize now that I really ended up picking a family and picking a community, and an extended community all over that loves its own.
It's hard to put the words what it's like to be a Gator. But win, lose, or draw, that song, We Are the Boys from Florida, when they start singing that, it just gets to you.
It's great to be a fighting Gator. And I think that's the way I feel. Everywhere I go, whether it's baseball, football, or whatever, I want to see the Gators win.
Through good times, bad times, and all kinds of weather, Gators stick together.
These are the Florida Gators, 100 years strong and poised for a new century of gridiron greatness.
fighting as hard as we possibly could with great integrity and intensity.
When you know you're representing them, you know the 70,000 that are sitting there in their orange and blue.
There's this huge swell of something that is just kind of lifting. It's just there.
The atmosphere is unbelievable, especially down here in Gainesville. Gridiron Gators, a true